Hello there once again, my name's Kagami and we're playing Katawa Shoujo. This is a game where people have missing limbs and stuff, because it's... Anyway, last episode, Emmy was going to answer how they met, and that's where we are, see? She's gonna answer the question, so let's go. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emmy giggled at my confusion. Put us together and we've cut all our limbs, get it? Ah, kinda seems like a sick joke. So I started helping Rin to get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses the moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that... Shoot, sorry about that. That Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. Yeah, it'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be the sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a content noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps a, equally pink, box of some kind with fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. Once again, impressed at how flexible she is. By this time, I keep processing videos, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Also, I'm not sure if those bings come off in it, so I should definitely check that. But anyway, that's what it was. It was a video being processed. Somehow I didn't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people that think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she is missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision or another matter, I'm honestly not sure. So Hiseo, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased with the response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended, trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess, Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by a monster heart-rendering puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company is okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now, or at least acquaintances. A lunch bell rings, signaling the return downstairs. Rin, did you finish your lunch again? I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if that is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident that from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the book I'd borrowed in the return slot of the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they'd made as they hit the trolley next to me. Sorry, Yuko, that didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay, I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do. And after reading so much during my stay at the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over at the corner where Hanako had been from last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she's here. There? Right there. See? Sitting on it. Absorbed completely in a fairly thick book, I decided against intruding her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an discernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decided on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset is too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess they need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair, tapping her cane, are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice, and she does. Hisao? Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembers it is a pleasant surprise. Good evening. What brings you here? Once again, she gives a small polite bow, and once again, I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. Just going to town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes to town with me. Not lost, but worried. The two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprised that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She let out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend on it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack. With the road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustle of leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I knew it, I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything settles down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopping right into the middle of things. For a moment, I hesitate to give her apparent tolerance for frankness. I decide to give my full thoughts. I guess Yamaku's kind of different, though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset, I suppose. I'll get used to it, though, in time. She gives off a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding along with Class 3, 2, and Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic. Nonetheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speak up about something else. Ugh, sorry for yawning. So where in town were you going? It's actually a pretty good question. I come to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. Gonna have to ask for directions again. I was just gonna get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know my way. I don't know my way around. Well, now that is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again then. Thanks. Together we walked to the store, my pace carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. After what couldn't have been more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she won't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed two well-used red baskets from the small stacks beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in it, tracing her cane and sliding it through the basket's handle before picking it back up with her right hand. Wait, she doesn't use her cane? If she doesn't use her cane... Before I complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender figure. Is this alright? Sure. I have no reason not to accept it. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store, with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eye. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for local residents. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily to find out what she needs. I grab it along. Oh, goodness, sorry. Along with what I'm looking for, and put our items into their respective baskets. I guess it's the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the register. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we've both paid our food and are out the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a moment looking upwards at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment, I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. You tired as well? The festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. She's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Rin, what are you doing out so late? Reen. Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin Tezuka. I think her last name from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and painful cringe. Ah, I understand. I guess Lily knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us without looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. But slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello. There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I was wondering about that myself too, just now. Some people asked that just before. I assume they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked, that's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. What? They were going that way. She turned facing to her right in order to demonstrate the direction that other people went to, as if they were as if that was important, then rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, she really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing, neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are aware, in fact, just scared of any response might provoke her to continue. I said oops because I didn't turn on my timer. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly as calm hints of expression in her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if bull elephant grades sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of that sort, though. No, I don't think it's that. The other passerbys were probably just worried, though. You don't look really lost the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I ponder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the latter. It seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said, even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? I push the thoughts aside. It's too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question or coincidence. It's coincident. Consequences. Oh, it's consequences. They're answering that she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of an idea. That sounds like progress, at least. At least sounds as if she's spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yes, there is some. Definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have. Reasons. The ensuing silence kills Lily's hopes all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin, as far as I can tell, unbased assurance aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are, but it's late, and I don't think we should be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me, trying to guess what might be going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet, too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back from the school? Any idea where? Her eyes widen to shock as she jolts back from somewhat afflicted, artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. And we'll find out next time if we're a mind reader. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Spoiler, we're not. But I'm not sure how long this episode has been, so I'm going to stop it. And I'll see you all next time on the next episode. And as always, have a fantastic evening.